Zero. Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and we have gathered here once again. And this time we're going to talk about a 1960s classic, 1964, in fact, and it's Disney's Mary Poppins. And let's go for opening thoughts straight away with the man from Hull. It's Lee. Yes, Hull only has one resident, and it's Lee Wilson, and he's here with us today.
So what do you want to know?
Just opening thoughts.
All right, what we're talking about.
Explain this film to Brian because he wouldn't have watched it.
All right. It's, as you say, it's a classic from the 60s. It was, when I was a little lad, one of my favourite movies at the time. But not my favourite, because Wizard of Oz was my favourite, but we won't go into that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The musical numbers in it, everybody know, nearly every song in the movie, everybody knows. Julie Andrews playing Mary Poppins. I know there's going to be a sequel to it with another actress playing the character, but I can't see anybody else playing Mary Poppins now, to be honest. It's just an iconic role. It's so engraved in our heads that it's Julie Andrews. Dick Van Dyke, yeah. His Cockney accent, not so good, but he's an all-round entertainer, and the accent really doesn't take away from the movie. It's still a fun movie, in my opinion, and that's my opening thoughts.
And let's stay in the UK and let's go to Scotland, in fact, with Graham. What are your opening thoughts on this film,
I'm going to be honest with you. This is one of these movies that I watch at least once a year, and it doesn't lose its charm. Like Lee alluded to, Julie Andrews.
Don't be embarrassed. You can admit it on here.
No, not at all. Not at all. I got everybody watches Home Alone 1 at Christmas. I watch this at least once a year. Julie Andrews is the quintessential Mary Poppins. But to be fair, you've got a sequel coming up next Christmas, and you've got Emily Blunt in the role. Now, she's a good singer, and she's a good actress. What happens with that, we will see. You're talking nearly 50, 60 years down the line, but we'll see what happens with that. Getting back to the original movie, Julie Andrews, phenomenal. Dick Van Dyke is the quintessential Cockney that never was. He's became one of these internet myths, and why am I echoing? Hang on. He's became one of these internet myths that was totally awful in a movie, and it's not necessarily the case. Is it a great Cockney accent? No. Does it detract for the movie? Hell no. He's brilliant in the movie. Especially, he just doesn't play Bert. He plays the senior father figure of the bank as well, of the Bank of England. Is it Mr. Dowers, I believe? A wooden leg named Smith. He plays him. So, ironically, in the sequel, he will play the son, Dowers Jr., who was saying, "Daddy, come down," at the end of the movie. So we'll see how he gets on with that. But Dick Van Dyke, great. Julie Andrews, great. The Sherman Brothers, with their music and the sound score, was great in this movie. There was even a few songs cut for the movie. One of them predominantly being "The Land of Sand," which I believe might have been used for another movie, but I'm not too sure on that. I love this movie. It's one of the great stuff for the 60s when it comes to Disney. And you can't beat it. And fair play to Julie Andrews, because 2 years later she would play a nanny again in The Sound of Music. So fair play for not being typecast. Great movie, and it has the Glaswegian seal of approval.
Well, there you go. The Glaswegian seal of approval. That's what every film wants. In fact, that's what everybody wants. I mean, that is the most important seal you can have. But let's go over to Germany with Beef Dad. What did you think? What are your opening thoughts, Beef Dad, on Mary Poppins?
This is one of the most magical films ever made. It's absolutely up there with The Wizard of Oz. Julie Andrews is brilliant. I watch it regularly with like Graham. How old was I when it came out? 16 when it came out. I saw it in the cinema then. I loved it. I've loved it ever since. I actually bought the soundtrack on LP at the time, but that has, during various moves, that has been mislaid somewhere. Dick Van Dyke. Yeah, I think Dick Van Dyke's great. I don't think. Yeah, for God's sake, this isn't a big thing about accents. This is a thing about a performance, and the performance he gives is absolutely solid, bloody gold. The two children, Jane and Michael Banks, Matthew Garber, Karen Dotrice. Karen Dotrice, of course, comes from a massively famous acting family. David Tomlinson is brilliant as Mr. Banks, but the one that tends to get sort of put to one side a little is Glynis Johns, who plays Winifred, Mrs. Banks. She is just brilliant. I mean, the We Are the Soldiers in Petticoats number is just superb. Hermione Baddeley. Everybody remembers Hermione Baddeley as the cook from Upstairs Downstairs. Brilliant in that, but she's brilliant in this as the maid, and so much younger. The sad thing is, of course, well, it's not sad because the sooner she goes, the sooner you get Mary, is Katie Nana, played by Elsa Lanchester, the Bride of Frankenstein herself. But there are many, many wonderful cameos and what have you in this. One that always gets me, brings a lump to my throat, is the little old bird woman, played by Jane Darrell. She just really gets me. The Admiral is a complete nutter. I love him to bits. And yeah, nobody seems to click on the fact that the doorman at the bank is played by Jimmy Logan, who was a wonderful, wonderful comedian, very, very famous Scottish comedian. Yeah, there were some brilliant performances, some wonderful music, some absolutely amazing effects for the time. Nobody expected the smoke from a chimney to turn into a set of stairs. It was just brilliant. It was brilliant. And I still think Jane and Michael Banks have always done it for me, because I could relate to them. That's it.
Well, either Lee's turning into a werewolf or his cat's playing up again. You having problems there, Lee? I could see you just trying to push the cat away.
she likes to steal the scene. So
she always upstages you, doesn't she? Yeah. She knows when we're on, you see. She knows when we're on.
I've taught her well.
And let's go over to Alex and Susan. What do you think about this film? Your opening thoughts?
Oh, me first? Really? Oh, I love this movie so much. It's amazing. My favorite song, I suppose, is I'll wait to do that bit for the favorite parts. But I love I love the fact that it was animated and live action. I love that Julie Andrews is amazing. I just mentioned Chris Pine in The Princess Diaries. Julie Andrews re-energizes her career by joining The Princess Diaries as the Queen of Genovia. I think that she's just been like, her husband Blake Edwards tried to really turn her into sort of a tart, and he didn't really succeed because she's still, she's still Mary Poppins, for crying out loud. How many years later? She's amazing. And Dick Van Dyke and the Dick Van Dyke Show, and Mary Tyler Moore. I mean, rest in peace, Mary Tyler Moore. But super amazing that the Dick Van Dyke he just rocks, and he's so cool. And Jane and Michael Banks were completely relatable. I mean, the fact that they kept running away. I mean, that was my childhood. I would find other places to be other than where I should have been and stuff like that. And but yeah, it was tremendous. I really loved the I really love the music. I really love the fact that it was, you know, the the penguin dance or whatever. I mean, like there was just so many. The supercalifragilisticexpialidocious moment, that was hilarious too. You know, and I'll save the other one for the favorite moments bit. Here, Alex, you talk now.
Okay. Yeah. I do like this movie. I do like some of the musical numbers. I think it goes on a little long. I don't know. Maybe because I saw it too much as a kid, and it sort of wore on me a little bit. But Julie Andrews is great. I saw it yesterday, and I forgot about the singing to herself in the mirror, and then the mirror takes over. And you know, so it is a good performance. There are a lot of wonderful performances in the film. It is a lot of good musical numbers, even though we did cover Chitty Chitty Bang Bang a couple of weeks ago, and Dick Van Dyke was in that, and Julie Andrews did not want to be in that movie because she didn't want to be typecast. She wasn't. She wasn't. Sometimes you do a role so well that you basically get remembered for that. Dick Van Dyke is great in almost everything he's in. He was in Columbo. He was in Dick Van Dyke Show. He was in a new version as well. And he's still going strong at 97. He still can dance and everything like that. The Cockney accent, yeah, that did get a bit annoying. I think it because it was too strong. I think it was too strong. But I did like the conflict. I did like the messages of, you know, discipline, and then you got to have a little bit of fun on the other side of life. And so, in that sense, it was very good that you had so many characters and so many songs, and the characters are well defined, I think. And so you have sort of the contrast of the very serious, very I want to, you know, it reminded me a lot of The Sound of Music too. Yeah. Even though for some reason I saw The Sound of Music more, so I'm more used to their musical numbers and the songs there. But sort of the contrast of, you know, you have the discipline and the serious from the father, and the woman is sort of playing a nurturing, you know, fun-loving role, and hopefully that isn't taken as sexist in this day and age. So that's another thing too that I don't know if it wears well necessarily, but I guess it must because they're going to make a sequel 60 years after. I know I read some of the books, and the books were also interesting, and they borrowed from the books for the movie. And of course, the other scene that I've always liked while I'm saying about it is the fact that Bert says to the children, well, you know, who's around to help your father when he, you know, gets depressed? I think they kind of see him as a sergeant major, and they forget, you know, he's human too, you know? So, you know, so it's kind of interesting, all the contrast in the musical numbers. And of course, you know, it's great when Dick Van Dyke is singing, and he's singing The Chimney Sweep, and that's a famous song that they're still covering, even on the internet. And another song that the It's a Lovely Holiday with Mary, which they also put into the Clueless, you know, TV show. So in a way, The Sound of Music, Wizard of Oz, Mary Poppins, it's even leaked. The popularity in the songs have bridged over into the American pop culture,
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting. And it's also a testament that it is a good movie, even if you don't like the how long it is. But it's still a very good movie.
And now let's go over to Kevin. Go on, Kevin. What do you think of this film?
Well, when I was a little lad, I saw this movie with my mother and my brother and my father on television and VHS, and I burned VHS because I watched it too many times. You're worn out. So I got it here on DVD.
And it's the 40th anniversary edition. It's on the back side. Look at this. There it is, 40th anniversary edition. It's over here. Yeah, on yours it's on the back. It's on the front. But yeah, I loved every minute of it, especially with the penguins. I love the way that they put animation and live action together. And I asked my mother just a few minutes ago if I saw it ever in Dutch. She said I never saw it in Dutch. I always saw it in English. So yeah, there's a Dutch version of this, like every Disney movie, except the Jungle Book of the 2016 version. And Dick Van Dyke as the with that Chim Chimney Chim song. I love that song. And that with the penguins song. And of course with the children and everything. It's just a fantastic movie.
And let's go over to Brian. Go ahead, Brian. What do you make of this film, Brian?
Hello. Okay, let's see what I thought of this film. Honestly, this may be my first time that I've actually seen this film whole straight through. Because, I mean, I've seen like maybe bits and pieces of it like in the past and everything, so this may be the first time I've ever seen this film completely the whole straight thing through. So I actually enjoyed this film. I think it's one of the best films that was within that era. I mean, in my opinion, it seems like a classic, and it probably will always be a classic with the movie. I honestly loved Mary Poppins. Movie's good. The whole plot point and the characters itself. Dick Van Dyke, though. Dick Van Dyke is the greatest. You cannot go on with Dick Van Dyke. He's just absolutely superb in anything that he's in. Although I've never seen really anything else of him that he's in, but I'm sure that he's great no matter what. So, Dick Van Dyke is just great. I honestly love it. Same with Julie Andrews. I never really seen anything else that she was in besides this particular film. Mary Poppins, good film. I can't wait for the newest film that'll be coming out next Christmas. I just hopefully it'll be mostly just as hopefully it'll be good, mostly as good as this film. We're just gonna have to see. So.
Yeah, no offense to the person who's going to play Mary Poppins in that, but
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt, but I don't think you can beat Julie Andrews.
To be fair, I don't think she's intended to. She's signed up. She's playing a role. Let's see how she gets on, and she'll give her interpretation. I don't want a full straight musical with a sequel. What they do with it is fine. Just don't make it a musical, in my opinion.
Because that's why the new Jungle Book worked, didn't it? Because it wasn't really a musical, and Beauty and the Beast, they tried to make that a musical, that remake, and it didn't work because they tried to make that a musical. But my opening thoughts is that I absolutely love this film. It's amazing. Technically, it is amazing to have real life people, Julie Andrews, Dick Van Dyke, with animated characters. I mean, think about how amazing that is at the time in 1964. That is it's just incredible. And the songs are amazing. Who doesn't know Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? And who doesn't know Let's Go Fly a Kite Up to the Highest Height? But, those songs, they just cheer you up when you hear them. And this film is just like Beef Dad says, it's magical. It's absolutely magical. It's up there with The Wizard of Oz as just being on another level. It is on a completely another level. And what's really interesting about this film as well is the behind the scenes and how it was created. I mean, I don't know whether Graham has seen Saving
Mr. Banks. Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
And P.L.Travers, who is the creator of Mary Poppins, was such an interesting character.
You know what? I totally recommend that movie if you want to see behind the scenes, man. Emma Thompson gives a fantastic performance. And Tom Hanks as Walt Disney isn't bad either.
I thought he was very good, actually, in it. I thought he was very good as Walt Disney. He was the perfect choice. Has anybody else seen Saving Mr. Banks? Susan?
No.
Yes, most definitely I saw it, and I enjoyed the story of the music and how they were able to, you know, they really, you know, they were, you know, they'd write things on the fly and then they'd get so the songs were so catchy that.
And she asked them to record every single meeting that they did. So you can actually hear the meetings.
The thing is, it proves how much. I don't want to use the word obstacle, which I don't want to speak ill will of the dead, but she really was an obstacle in terms of getting this movie made because she was just so passionate about her creation. And at the end of the day,
she was a strong woman. She was a strong woman.
Yeah, you know. But it all stemmed from the relationship she had with her deceased father. So there you go. You know.
Exactly. So let's move on back to the film to favourite moments or scenes or particular points you liked. Susan's dying to speak.
Hang on. Did you get Lee's point of view? I might have missed that.
Yeah, Lee was first. Yeah, if you fell asleep, Graham, it doesn't matter.
No, I apologise. I've been drinking all day. Yeah, you know. So
go ahead, Susan.
Okay, my favorite part in this movie and has been since I was a little girl is I love to laugh loud and long and clear, and they're up on the ceiling. Oh my gosh, their laughter! It's like the opposite. The Greeks had this thing that they had two forces. They had gravity, which was the tendency of stuff to go into the earth, and then they had levity, which was the stuff that had made things want to go up into the air. And you know, these guys were operating on levity, on the real force of levity. It was so cool. Anyway, that has to be my favorite moment. Here, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've seen it many times. I mean, there's different times that I've liked it. I've liked, even though I'm not a big fan of Dick Van Dyke's brogue in the movie, I have liked the musical numbers. And I also like, you know, It's a Lovely Holiday with Mary, you know, so, I mean, that's great. And the penguins, and, you know, when he's talking to the penguins and the penguins are talking to him, and, you know, there's a lot of cutesy parts. And as I said, it's nice that you have the contrast and you have the different songs for the different characters, just like the father, you know, discipline and all this. And then you have, you know, Mary, who's, you know, more lighthearted. And of course, it is very interesting. The lyrics, spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Is that's a very interesting lyric there.
It's a good song, though, you got to admit, Alex.
Yeah, what's that again?
It's a good song.
As I said, I think I'm more used to the Sound of Music, but that had interesting lyrics as well. But yeah, there's and it is very funny how there's very few movies and very few musicals since the 60s that have captured the levity and the sort of the frivolity of a lot of these musical numbers, you know, with the creations as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of people that I've met that they love Mary Poppins, they love the Wizard of Oz songs, they love the Sound of Music songs. Even a few before that, they like the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang soundtrack as well. So it's very interesting and slightly slightly regretful that there hasn't been many good musicals that a lot of people remember since the 60s, and the songs aren't quite as cheerful or happy or infectious in terms of being remembered. That's a little sad.
Well, I haven't seen it, but I think La La Land tried to bring back the musicals. I've never seen it, but that's what I hear. It's trying to bring back the classic, musicals.
I actually saw it just out of curiosity, and I think the problem is the musical numbers almost make it, but then they go to the modern day and it's just too cynical.
Ah,
I understand a little bit of cynicism. You don't want to be too, this isn't Pollyanna, even though I know a lot of people that love that too. But it's too much contrast actually, and it almost doesn't fit with the characters of La La Land. So that's where it sort of fails. It's a nice attempt, but it's not as cheerful and happy and infectious as the 60s musicals.
Well, that's a West Side Story for you.
and let's go to Beef Dad. Does Beef Dad have a favourite standout moment?
I have several.
Yep, go on.
There's the magic moment where she's sitting on the cloud at the very beginning. I love that. And of course, when the wind changes, all the nannies blow away and Mary Poppins floats down with her umbrella. That gets me. I get a lump in my throat every time that Mary Poppins floats down. There's one bit in it where Mr. Banks takes his children to the bank, and you have two completely differing songs, because you have each day to the steps of St. Paul's the little old bird woman comes, and then from that it transposes minutes later to if you invest your tuppence in a bank account, safe and sound, soon that tuppence wisely invested in the bank will become pounds. So you go from the love of nature and of birds and of warmth of the heart to the coldness of the banking industry. And it's just a wonderful contrast. But the thing is, when the kids start the run on the bank, that I always find hysterically funny. That over tuppence, a run is started on a bank. That is just so clever, so funny. And then, of course, when Banks is called and he is basically sacked, it's the way they do it. They do it the way they used to do things in the military. I mean, they take his buttonhole and pull it apart. Yeah. They take his umbrella and reverse it. They take his bowler hat and they punch a hole through it. But, of course, the magic thing is when he tells them the joke about the man with the wooden leg called Brian
Smith.
What's the name of his other leg?
Yeah.
And eventually the old man finds that so funny that he has a heart attack and dies laughing. And that is just so good. And Dick Van Dyke played the old man so brilliantly. And you never ever hear anybody complain about his accent and the way he played the old man.
Okay, that was that song when they're having tea on the ceiling. That's where that joke is first.
Wooden leg named Smith.
Right. Yes. Yeah, and of course, Edwin playing Uncle Albert on the ceiling. I mean, Edwin had done so many things in Hollywood and so much on American television. And he was just a brilliantly funny actor. He really was just absolutely superb. And he was perfect as Uncle Albert. I can't imagine anyone else playing Uncle Albert. But yeah, really, there's those. And as I say, for Glynis Johns, but the magic, one of the really magical moments is after they have done Step in Time on the rooftops of London, and the Admiral has fired a whole bunch of rockets at it because he thinks they're a lot of Hottentots, and they all get down the chimney, and loads of the sweeps end up in the Banks household, singing and dancing with the staff there, and then eventually getting out when Mr. Banks comes home. That is just an absolutely magical moment for me. It always brings a smile to my face and a chuckle.
It's all magical, Beef Dad. And let's go to Graham for. Have you got any favourite moments there?
Oh Jesus! The bog standard
question,
ones,
isn't it, for this film?
Yeah, I know. The bog standard ones, I'm going to leave alone. Obviously, the jump into the chalk picture, Step in Time, then the cartoon, and the rest of it. David Tompkinson. I absolutely loved him in this movie because essentially it is a kids' movie. It's about Mary Poppins. It's about the kids, but if you once you watch Saving Mr. Banks, you get a greater perspective, and you realise it's about the father's struggle as well. And when you retrospectively go back and watch the movie after you've watched Saving Mr. Banks, it brings a whole new dimension to the movie for me, because you've got this struggling father, 1910s London, trying to keep his job, steady domain in his castle, an Englishman's home, his castle, all the rest of it. And David Tompkinson plays Mr. Banks phenomenally in this for me. The same Beast Dad was alluding to. After all the chimney sweeps come down the chimney after Step in Time, and you've got Dick Van Dyke sitting talking to Mr. Banks at the end of it, trying to, come to the resolution that his kids aren't going to be young forever, and you've got to grasp the moment as it was. That was a good scene. Dick Van Dyke is the elderly bank, Mr. Dowers, I believe, senior. Who wouldn't like Nate Smith? Up he goes, and then goes the heart attack. I believe he's going to be playing Mr. Dowers Jr. In the sequel next year. He's going to be the same age. He's going to be the same age that Mr. Dowers was in the original. So that'll be interesting. He's hoping that he doesn't start screaming "Daddy!" Good movie. Michael Banks, the young actor name escapes me, but we should obviously bring up the fact that the poor lad died of mouth cancer. I believe, was it the late 70s or early 80s? He's no longer with us. That's unfortunate. Great music by the Sherman Brothers. You just can't knock it. I think every song in this is justified. The only thing they've got is when you get back and read what wasn't included in this movie, and you hear some of the samples of the songs that might have been included, you might have gone, well, could we have fit that in? Could we have fit that in? But hey ho, it's only movies have got a specific runtime. The Land of Sand is really interesting to me, because I think they ended up using it in another movie. I don't recall which one it was, but it would have been interesting to see how they might have fit that in. Will they fit it in the sequel next year? Only time will tell. But I'm going to give Emily Blunt a shot. Like you say, Aled, if they approach it from a different point of view and don't make it a full-blown musical, it could work. But as far as the original goes, it's a classic and it'll never be topped.
But we have to give a big shout out to the Sherman Brothers, because they created all this music. And like Graham says, it is all good. It's all catchy, and it's all there for a reason. It's all there for a reason. And what they went through, as Graham's seen Saving Mr. Banks, you will understand. They had some patience.
I would have killed a bit. Excuse my language.
I mean, she drove them literally mad. You've got to watch that film. Let's go to Hull. Let's go to Lee for favourite moments. Any standout moments, Lee?
Well, Graham took the words right out of my mouth when he said about David Tomlinson. It's as I say, it's not a movie about the kids. It's a movie about the father and how he's saved. Because the kid and for, as we said a few weeks back, Disney are really good at creating Disney villains. There's no villain in this movie.
No.
There is not one villain in this movie. But it's just, as I say, the feed the birds section.
Poppins was pretty evil, though.
Who?
Mary Poppins, did you say?
Mary?
She wasn't evil? You muted Susan.
Tuppence, the 2 pennies.
That's not evil.
But yeah, you say the feed the birds section. That's a brilliant song. Also, when they're in the picture, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, that section, but also the fox hunt section in that with the carousel horses. That is a brilliant section where he saves the Irish fox. That is just brilliant. Yeah, it's just wonderfully put together. It's stood the test of time. And all the actors are cast well in it. Even, as you say, even the Admiral Boom. I mean, the actor's name escapes me, but it was only a sort of cameo, but brilliantly played. And as in the remake next year, the wonderful David Warner is playing Admiral Boom. So I'd love to see his take.
Whoa! That I did not know.
Yeah.
I thought this was a sequel, no a remake.
No, it's a sequel.
Yeah.
But he's down to play Admiral Boom. So
Admiral Boone doesn't age, and the kids
it might be his son. I don't know.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah. No, it's a sequel.
Apparently, it's a sequel. Yeah. Apparently, the kids are grown up in this one. But it's down as David Warner playing Admiral Boom in the very popular Return. So we shall see. But yeah, all in all, I love this movie. It's just wonderfully put together. It's, for me, stood the test of time. All the songs are just, but for me, it is Feed the Birds. That song for me is the standout one. It just gets you.
And can I just say, sorry to interrupt you, with regards to Feed the Birds, that was a Walt Disney personal favourite. Again, if you watch Saving Mr. Banks, every Friday afternoon, play it. There you go. There.
Yep. And make sure you turn the volumes down, people, of your headphones, because we're now going to Brian. For favourite moments, Brian, you got any standout moments? Any moment that you thought, oh yeah, that's the best moment in the film?
Me?
Yep. You're the only Brian in here. Put your hands up if you call Brian. Anybody else? Nope, you're definitely the only... I shouldn't have said that now, should I? You're confusing. The one with the hat on.
Well, let's see, my favorite moments. Well, before I start off with my favorite moments, I just want to also say that I actually saw Mary Poppins in a play. It was like a live stage play it was like a field trip of mine within one of my schools I went to, and it was absolutely fantastic. Just mostly just as good as the actual movie itself. So, I think my actually favorite moment is probably gonna have to be
it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, because there's so many.
There's so many. Yeah, the whole film is like amazing.
well, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
It's a tough word. But yeah, that's my one of my favorite songs. The other, I think, is the Medicines Go Down.
Spoonful of sugar, yeah.
Spoonful of Sugar, yes, that's right. I keep forgetting most of these songs. They're so popular and everything. I can't really remember most of them most of the time. But like the first time that they sung the song, like when they were cleaning their rooms and everything.
Yeah, and it was automatically moving about. Yeah, the drawers were automatically cleaning and the beds were automatically being made.
And the toys too.
Yeah, that was amazing how they did that. I thought that looked really good.
And the closet doors keep opening shut every time, and the kids
stuck in there. Yeah,
Michael's trying to get out and everything. Yeah. But no, I can't see one bad thing about this film that it's that good. There's no bad things I could say about this film. It is that good of a film, and it's so well done. It's a classic. I absolutely enjoy this film. From what Graham said like a minute ago, like getting more details and background from Saving Mr. Banks, I think I might now even watch that. Because now that I've seen mostly Mary Poppins fully, completely for the first time, I think and from what Graham said about Saving Mr. Banks, I think I might now see Saving Mr. Banks as well now.
Have you seen Nanny McPhee? Because Emma Thompson, who plays Nanny McPhee, is in Saving Mr. Banks. She plays the writer of Mary Poppins.
I haven't
P.L.Travers.
Well, I didn't really want to see that personally because that Nanny McPhee looks stupid
No, actually, it's not stupid.
Good film, actually. It's a good film. I like it.
BJ, if you're going to watch an Nanny McPhee movie, watch the first one. Disregard the second one.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of then, Graham, the second one. Because I've seen like the trailer to like one of them, I guess, and it didn't really suit me.
Oh, that's called The Big Bang, the second one, or something like that, isn't it? Yeah, I've not seen that one. I've only seen the first. So I usually tend to not watch sequels because they tend to be not.
Well, they're not as good as the first. That's the problem.
Yeah,
I've seen both of them. I was hoping they'd make a third.
Totally off topic. They were supposed to make a third. Emma Thompson was penciled in today, 3 of them.
Yeah.
But I think the sequel done so badly, she just went done. So
me too. I wish they would have done 3.
Another thing about David Warner within the second one, I just want to ask, who is David Warner?
Admiral Boo. Hang
on. Whoa. Wait. Who is David Warner? Did you just say that?
Who is David Warner?
He definitely did say that.
He has been in nearly every cult classic movie you can name.
BJ,
yes, Graham?
He's Kang.
Have you seen The Omen?
No.
Have you seen The Time Bandits?
No.
Have you seen Time After Time?
Gorathon?
Have seen Tron?
Have you seen Titanic?
No.
All right, hang on. Wait, we could be here all fucking night.
We would be here all night. You're right, Graham.
The alternate third Doctor in the Unbound series on.
He won't have listened to that.
He won't know what that is. No.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Have you seen The Secret of the Ooze?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, well, you know what?
Have you even seen Mary Poppins?
What, Alan?
Have you even seen Mary Poppins?
All right, you know what? We can't help you. Move on.
Let's move over to Kevin. Favorite thoughts? Favorite scenes? I'm losing the plot here.
Yeah, of course.
I blame you lot.
Well, I enjoyed overall the movie. I don't got negative things to say about this movie. My favorite film parts were, of course, with the pinwheels and the rooftop scene, and all the songs, of course. I only remember 2 of them right now, but that.
Well, we're going to sing them at the end. We're going to sing all of them.
You gotta be joking.
No, we are. Beef Dad's up for it. Mind you, Beef Dad's up for anything. But no.
and the song, well, it's on the back of probably on the disc. Oh no, it's not on that. Oh well. And that's on that Ella Just song.
Supercalifragilistic.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. You like that song? I love that song.
Backwards,
Yeah.
which is supposed to slightly Francicalibrupas.
Wow, I can imagine. I'm amazed you can say it backwards.
Okay,
You
that's
can say
going
it
a little
backwards then,
too
Beef
far,
Dad.
don't you think?
Say again? What did you say, Susan?
I said that's going a little bit too far, don't you think?
Yeah. Anyway, any more?
Indubitably.
Yep. Any more favourite scenes, Kevin, or was that it?
No, with the children, that's just awesome.
Yeah, and for me,
And Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah. I just love all this film. I mean, the Admiral, I love the songs, the penguins. I absolutely adore the penguins. This film, I love every single moment of it. For me, it's like Frozen. It's like Frozen or The Wizard of Oz, and I absolutely love Frozen and The Wizard of Oz. But I am going to.
Howard, let it go. Come on, jeez.
But I have to say, and Lee's going to fall off his chair. But
wait a minute.
Did
you just compare Frozen with Mary Poppins?
Well, wait there. I haven't finished yet, and Lee's going to fall off his chair. But I think, is there a defibrillator in anywhere near you, Lee?
Don't worry about it. Continue.
Yeah. I think Mary Poppins is better than Frozen.
Has anybody got the alcohol?
So.
It's a better film.
I need alcohol.
Hang on. No.
Well, you've always got that.
Why is that a statement of shock to you? I would want to hope that Frozen is a good movie. It's the highest grossing Disney movie of all time, blah, blah, blah. But Mary Poppins is a better movie. Why is that a shock?
Yeah.
Because Lee would find that a shock. No, Lee has this obsession with me. Frozen's an amazing film.
Well,
it's not my bag, but I can understand why it's popular. That's all I'll say with regards to Frozen.
So is that with the spoonful of sugar? Because if I remember correctly,
10 spoonfuls of sugar.
Yeah, there's no snowman in Mary Poppins, unless I'm mistaken.
Do you want to be a
That is true. So actually, Frozen's better than Mary Poppins now. There you go, Alex.
Whoa.
No, she ruined it. Yeah.
There you go.
Beef Dad's getting Beef Dad is getting the biggest mind fuck of his life.
So nobody has any moments they dislike then?
Dislike.
Well,
I know who did dislike this film. Who was the writer? P.L.Travers.
Yeah. I mean, she was quite.
She hated Disney. She hated cartoons.
No. She was quite. She was okay with it when it first was released, and then as years went on, she was.
She's the writer of the book, right? So.
Yeah, the book is very different. The book's a lot darker, isn't it? I've never read the book.
Yeah, the stage play is more akin to the book.
There's a movie about it, Saving Mr. Banks.
Yeah,
that's what we've been talking about.
Wake up, Kevin. Hello.
It's I mean, but
I haven't seen that one.
Kevin.
I give up. I'm off to fly a kite.
Pay attention, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, they combined. I don't know in the new sequel.
The sequel, I believe, is combining book 2 and book 3.
Yeah, so I mean.
Oh, it is.
If it's sort of supposed to be an allegory or a fairy tale, a lot of fairy tales are actually written very dark, and they have a little bit of dismemberment, and they have a little bit of, very, very nasty characters and all that. And of course, Disney didn't want to put it that way. So of course, there's very serious characters, but they're not evil or nasty or anything like that.
Sorry to interrupt you, Alex. Who's the fella for Hamilton who's going to be playing essentially the Dick Van Dyke role in the sequel?
Maybe
I
Dick.
have no idea.
Hang on. Lamel. Oh, crap.
Maybe Dick Van Dyke will play him again.
I have to say, Mary Poppins is a Time Lord, though,
Are you,
because of the bag. The bag is her TARDIS.
are you saying Stephen Amell is playing?
No, not Stephen Amell. No.
Oh, I thought that's what you just said.
Stephen Amell, where
The guy who's been on stage is it Hamilton? He's essentially the Dick Van Dyke role in the sequel, and Dick Van Dyke is essentially playing the old guy in the bank, but he was a younger guy in the original. So, go figure. Yeah, that all makes sense next Christmas. Whatever.
Well, maybe Dick Van Dyke could do both, Graham.
No, he can't.
Dick Van Dyke is amazing. He's been in all three of the Night at the Museum movies.
Well, after the first one, I wouldn't think a lot about that.
No.
Just saying.
How old is he now, by the way?
90.
91, I believe.
Yeah.
91.
97, 90, 93, 94.
He's not that old now.
He's not 97. I don't think he's.
And still dancing.
Hold on.
He's still
Yeah,
dancing,
no,
yes.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't remember his.
I'd love to know what they're feeding him because he's getting more energy than I've got to know.
Yeah,
he's
no,
91.
Yeah, I want some of it, I tell you.
I just looked it up. He's 91.
Okay,
He's
I
91.
apologize.
Wow.
And he stuffs in the can, so we're fine.
So, does anybody else have anything to add about this film? Any information they wish to add, or?
No.
Again, any information you want about this movie is in the movie Saving Mr. Banks. The only thing that I always find intriguing about this movie is the songs that they essentially cut. The only one you ever hear it is The Land of Sand, but I know there was a shitload more that's not been brought to light, and I'd be interested to see A, what these songs were, and B, what they ended up using them for.
Also, yeah, there was also another song they got rid of, was called Chimpanzee.
There you go. Yep.
Oh, was there? And were all these songs ever recorded? Or?
I was wondering if the Beatles
They were recorded, yeah.
called Uncle Albert based on the character in the book of Mary Poppins.
Small shout out to Andrew the dog, by the way. We need to give our animal friends some love. Just.
Oh, and I was gonna put a whole ship's on. I used to own a trailer by the river in Montana, and I was gonna put a whole ship's bridge on the top of it and shoot a cannon off, but my trailer park wouldn't let me do that.
There you go.
Here's something for you guys.
Yeah.
You got emotional and cried at the end when Mary Poppins flew away.
No, I never said something derogatory there. I have a man organ.
Bless you.
Yeah,
No,
The thing is that there were so many people in this who were absolutely top of the profession. I mean, the extraordinary thing is, the little old bird woman.
Yeah.
She came out of retirement, did she know, for that part?
She came out of retirement to do it. She was an Academy Award winner for the Best Supporting Actress for The Grapes of Wrath.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, but the thing is, when they told her about the film and what part that they would like her to play, she said, "Oh yes, I'll do it. I'll do it."
It reminds me of Home Alone 2 with the bird woman from there.
No, she was for Casualty. That's not the same thing.
Yeah.
it does not.
Yeah, she was. It was a piece of magic.
It was the same. What's her name? Mrs. Banks. Gladys. What was her name? Sorry, her name escapes me. She was
Glynis John.
Glynis John. She was swearing her no whether to take the part or no until they said, "We'll give you a solo number." Sign me up, bitch. There you go.
Yeah.
So,
Glynis Johns, her father was a very famous actor. I seem to recall he did Day of the Triffids.
that rings a bell, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I seem to recall he did Day of the Triffids.
Sorry, Beef Dad, wasn't that a famous British acting family? Because isn't there more than one? I thought one in Doctor Who and one in David Griffiths and
Which one?
the Johns, the JOHNS. Isn't that a famous
Yeah,
acting family?
actually, I have a funny feeling that Glynis Johns herself actually turned up in Doctor Who. But the thing is,
She did.
the Dotrice family,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
they also turned up in Doctor Who. In fact, I remember her father doing. He did a legal one. I can't remember what it was called.
All right.
And it was a big thing in England, and he played this judge, and he did all sorts of really wonderfully eccentric judgments. Do you remember it, Lee? Roy
Must be before my time.
Roy Dutrice?
I know
Really?
Roy Dutrice is, but
Before the Jurassic era, was it?
I know Roy Dutrice has been in loads of things, Space 1999 and all that sci-fi stuff.
He also did Doctor Who.
Yeah, but there is a lot of acting. There is a lot of English acting families anyway. You've got the Watlings, you've got the Redgraves. We know how to breed them.
Yeah, I what is it? Mervyn Johns?
Mervyn Johns.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, there we go then. Anyway, let's wrap this up now because otherwise we'll be here all night. And it's getting a bit late to fly a kite. Oh, that rhymed a little bit, didn't it?
There you go, yeah.
Oh, well done. I'm impressed with myself, actually. And let's go to Graham first for final say and score. Go ahead, Graham. Final say.
You know what? This movie doesn't lose its charm no matter how many decades pass. It's a staple. It's a classic. It'll stand the test of time. I watched it as a kid. Lee watched it as a kid. Beef Dad probably watched it as a kid, and I dare say his grandson, young Jack, is still watching it today. So this gets a 10 out of 10 for me, man. Can't be topped. Great movie.
And what we learned from that, Lee was in fact a kid once.
Well, there you go. Everybody's got to come from somewhere.
It's a bombshell, that is. I should have left you to last, really.
Yeah.
Let's go to Alex and Susan for final say and score before Susan blows away, because I've seen...
I am like a kite. No, I'm just kidding. I'm much too great mass to be that. I'm more like a cannonball. Admiral Boone, just shoot me out, okay? Let's see. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10, and maybe a 12 out of 10, or maybe a 13 out of 10.
Higher.
It's so good. 100 out of 10.
I feel like Brucey.
Amazing. Anyway, love it.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't like it, Susan.
I'm hoping you're not playing the generation game there, Howard.
Yeah.
That's coming back.
I did. Like I said, the songs in this are very good. I did see it well over 20 times.
What, in this setting?
No, the
right.
No, I said overall. Yeah, I mean, there's still songs that everybody remembers. It has worked its way into American pop culture. And so, just like The Sound of Music, just like The Wizard of Oz, it's one of those movies that everybody sees, even if they don't admit it. And except for Dick Van Dyke's Cockney Brogue, I pretty much like this movie. And like I said, it's very humane in many ways, and it shows the contrast. And it also shows the contrast that even if you're strict, even if you're serious, you're still human. And that's kind of interesting that they went down that road in the 60s instead of just saying, we won't even bring up that point.
What are you going to score it?
Rate it. I'd say the story I'd probably give an 8. The execution I'd probably give a 9.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you quite right. Was that a 10? Yeah, a 10. Good. And now let's go to Brian. Go ahead, Brian. What are you going to rate this film? Final say and score.
Hello, my turn. Alright, so let's see. I'm gonna probably give this 10 umbrellas.
Oh, 10 umbrellas. Poundland ones, I hope. Can't afford any others.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Because this film was absolutely amazing. I absolutely enjoyed every minute of it. Considering that this is my time I've ever seen the film completely, the whole thing through, and probably for the first time ever. So, yeah. We'll see.
And let's go to Germany with Beef Dad. Final say and score. You muted Beef Dad. We have no idea what you're saying.
I put my hat on so that I can take it off to Mary Poppins.
Hey!
It's
As long as that's all you're
absolutely-
taking off, we're fine.
It's absolutely a classic. As I say, and Graham probably wasn't listening at the time. I was 14 when it came out, and I saw it. Saw it in
Actually, you said you were 16, so you went down 2 years.
Yeah, you're changing it. It's changing all the time.
I'm just trying to think. Let's see. I was born in 48. It came out in 64. Yes, I was 16, and I actually went to see it in the cinema 3 days running because
Wow.
I loved it so much.
I bet it was amazing to see it for, at the cinema.
Yeah, 3 days, but I saw it 3 days running. It was just absolutely incredible. And my feelings about it haven't changed over the years. I have remembered what Roy Trish was in. It was a thing called Misleading Cases. Yeah, I can only concur with Susan on this. 100.
100.
It gets
Did Susan give
100
it
out.
100? I thought Susan gave it 13.
Because it isn't solid gold. It's platinum.
Wow. Wow.
Absolutely incredible.
Wow. Platinum. There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
And let's go to Kevin for final say and score, Kevin. Don't let us down, Kevin.
Oh, it's pretty dark here. But
That's because you're an hour ahead.
yes. And Beef Dad is the
Too
same.
dark to go and fly a kite. Never mind.
Oh, well. Oh, now it's dark. Well, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 because it's a classic.
Well, that's a bit lower than what Beef Dad gave it. It seems a bit of a come down from 100. Give it 110.
110 then.
There we go. 110 from Kevin. And let's go to Lee. Lee, go on. What's your score, Lee? Let's go over to
Come on,
Tom.
everybody, step in time. Come on.
Yeah.
Over the rooftop, stepping time. Over the rooftop, stepping time.
Sing it for us.
I'm gonna give it-
Sing a song for us.
God bless you, Governor. I'm going to give it 1 trillion out of 10.
Oh.
One getting higher and higher. This is pressure on me now.
Can't get much higher. Oh.
Any final say on it? Or is that it? 1 trillion?
It's just a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious movie. There's nothing more you can say.
Can you repeat that? I don't think you quite said it right.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And remember, kids, candy apples will rot your teeth.
Yep.
What's your Sally expialidocious?
He just said it backwards. Go figure. Yeah.
Yes, if you watch this in rewind, he's actually saying it forwards. There you go. We should do the whole cast backwards.
No, you're all right.
We could do it. We can redo this cast backwards for.
I always thought we did do it backwards.
That depends on who. That depends who's in the cast. Yeah, you know. Yeah.
I hear you doing hell, Lee.
There you go.
Anyway, so Lee gave it 1 billion. Kevin gave it 1 trillion. Sorry,
Yeah.
Kevin gave it 110. Susan gave it 100. I'm gonna give it. Oh my god! I'm gonna give it brilliant.
Is that even a figure?
Made up number.
God. What? What's
Why don't you just use Google Play?
Quadrillion. I'm going to give it
He
a
lied.
quadrillion. There
He
you go.
lies.
I'm going to give it a quadrillion. This is
Quadrillion.
quadrillion. Yeah, that's you can go and check it up. It is actually a figure. It's higher than a trillion.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing that it's a good thing that everybody knows we don't take this seriously.
Just a wee bit.
I take it very seriously.
Yeah.
Of
A
course,
quadrillion out of 10. That's pretty good.
Does Scrooge McDuck know what a quadrillion is? I'm just asking, Yeah.
We'll have to ask David Tennant.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, since Alan Young's no age anymore, you're probably right. Yeah.
But for me, this film is magical. End of, and it was definitely worth all the problems they had to go through to get it, because basically this film, they were making this film when she hadn't even agreed to it, really. She hadn't even signed it off, really.
She was agreeing to it, but she was arguing about bits and bobs. Yeah, go watch Saving Mr. Banks, folks. You'll get pissed at it.
But for what they went through, this film is absolutely amazing, and the ending is amazing. I love the song "Let's Go Fly a Kite." It's so uplifting, and when you hear it, you just want to sing along to it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to end with a song.
Okay.
And Susan is going to start us off with "Let's Go and Fly a Kite." Susan, take it away.
Yes.
When you grab a fistful of string and your heart is caught in a sling and you want to go do something fun.
Wait, what? Hang on. Wait.
Let's go fly a kite up to you.
As I reach for the revolver.
Let's go fly a kite and soaring. Come on, everyone.
To the atmosphere. Up to the air is clear. All right.
Let's go fly a kite.
And with that, good night, folks.
That's
That's all, folks.